Fire in the hole! Let's cook some Andalucian Pinchitos Morunos. Any idea what that is? Me neither. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome once again to my barbecue grill. What we're going to do today is, I'm taking a page out of Rivet Gardener's playbook. We're going to give you a little geography lesson today. And we're also going to take this is some pork tenderloin that I cut up into little medallions like that. That's 2 whole pork tenderloins. We're going to set those aside. We got to make a marinade for that pork. Let me get everything I need for the marinade out here, and then we'll talk about the influences and where this all came from. So stay tuned. Okay, I got everything assembled here. What I have here is a little bit of water, and it was hot, but now it's cooled off. It's just warm. And I've got some of this. This is saffron, the world's most expensive spice. Now it says to take a pinch of saffron. A pinch of it is already stuck to the lid. I'm thinking, I don't know, what am I saving this for? Am I going to use this again sometime? I doubt it. Anyway, I'm going to put the whole thing of saffron in there. That's $5 worth of saffron. That's the world's most expensive spice right there. We're going to get that in the water. And you see the color change on that? Look at that. That is saffron infused water. We're going to dump that whole thing in the marinade later on. We're just going to set that aside and let that water get infused with saffron. Meanwhile, I got my pilon over here. This is a pilon. To you gringos, it's a mortar and pestle. Hope you can see inside there pretty good. Okay, we got a whole bunch of stuff we got to put in there, starting with black peppercorns. Black peppercorn. I'm doubling this recipe because I got a lot of meat. And I'm going to put the recipe in the description for you guys. There, I got this from a guy on Reddit made this, and he directed me to another guy who had this on his blog. Has made a blog post about this. This is Andalusian with Moorish influenced tapas. It's pork, and it has Andalusia is the southern part of Spain, and at one time the Moors, the North Africans, the black Muslims from North Africa invaded Europe, and they invaded Andalusia, and they invaded Sicily. They raped all the women in Sicily, and that's why all the Sicilians have a little bit of Moorish in us. You can check that if you don't believe me. And yeah, we're gonna crush up that dough. We don't have to powder this, but I do have to break it up a little bit. That's black pepper. Okay, next we have some cumin seed. Now, cumin seed might be hard to come by. I just happen to have some. So I'm going to dump in some cumin seed. I'm making a lot of marinade because I got a lot of meat. I have 2 whole pork tenderloins that I cut up. We're going to crush up the cumin seed along with the pepper. And anyway, I was talking about this being an Andalusian recipe with the Moorish influence. I'm not sure which of these spices is the Moorish influence. Probably the saffron and maybe the coriander. I don't really know. We're going to grind up our cumin. Cumin is found in a lot of recipes. So is coriander. We're finna put some coriander in there now. I couldn't get coriander seeds, so I'm using powdered coriander. I'm going to put about, let's see, I haven't even opened this. Look at that. This coriander hasn't even been opened. Oh my goodness, look at that. Good thing I had a knife standing by, or I never would get this top off of here. These things defeat me every time. Okay, so we're going to put about, I'm putting a good heaping tablespoon of coriander in there, powdered coriander. Oh, that smells good. And then we have some fennel seed. Fennel seed. Don't worry, there'll be a whole recipe in the description for you, in case you're trying to follow along with me doing this. That's a lot of fennel seed, but that's okay. Fennel seed. We want that in there. I'm going to crush that up a little bit. Crush up that fennel seed. Fennel seed is found in Italian sausage a lot, and it's a wonderful spice. This spice blend that I'm doing here smells amazing already. It's not even, haven't even done anything with it. It smells delicious. Let me tell you what. Somebody said when I say "let me tell you what," it sounds like I'm saying "what? Let me tell you why." Let me tell you what. and I say that too much. I gotta stop saying that. Somebody told me that on YouTube. They made a YouTube comment about my slurring my speech, I suppose. I'm not drunk yet, but I will be drinking a beer later. Okay, one more powdered ingredient we have, some Spanish hot paprika, smoked hot paprika. This stuff is amazing, delicious, and it's wonderful. I'm gonna put quite a bit of it in there. I'm gonna put 3 heaping teaspoons of that in there because it'll bring color and flavor to our dish like nobody's ever seen before. Awesome colors and flavors. We're getting our seeds. The seeds have to be crushed up a little bit. Fennel seed, coriander. The coriander is already crushed. And the, what else is in there? I forgot. Anyway, then we have some oregano, whole oregano. I'm going to put a good bit of that whole oregano in there. We like oregano. Us Italians like it. And I have some bay leaves. I'm going to put, usually when you see bay leaves, they put the bay leaf in the dish, then they fish it out later. But with this one, we want to break the bay leaf up in there. We want to make sure it gets broken up in the marinade. So 2 or 3 bay leaves. Well, maybe make it 4. 4 bay leaves, 4 whole bay leaves. We're going to crush them up and break them up in there in that spice blend that we have going on here. Going to cook that up. Look at that. And it smells and looks amazing. Got to break up those bay leaves. Got to be broken up into little pieces. I'm getting it done. Don't you worry. Okay, yes. When I get done, this pilon's going to be full of stuff because the next thing I got to put in here, well, I got to put the cap back on the hot paprika. I don't want to lose that. Get that put away. Now we have 4 cloves of garlic. 4 large cloves of garlic. Look at that. We got to crush them up in there. Oh boy. You talk about a good smell. Woo! This is smelling right. You know what? That's going to take a while, so I'll bring you right back. Stay tuned. Okay, we're back. Here's a pro tip for you. If you do this, cut your garlic up ahead of time. Mash it up good, you know, cut it, dice it up. That was no uncalled for all the time I spent trying to mash the garlic. Now we're going to put our saffron and saffron infused water in there. Oh yeah. Oh, this is really looking like something now. Oh yes. Now we're talking. Now we're talking marinade. This is marinade. Marination. This is boring, I guess, but yeah, you gotta bear with me on this one because this marinade's amazing. Look at that. It actually needs to be thinned out even further. Let me move my knife, my bay leaves, and my jar here. Getting stuff done anyway. Coriander can go away. Let's get this mixed up. Oh boy, what a blend. That smells excellent. Yeah, let me give you a pro tip. Next time, I'll dice up the garlic ahead of time. Okay, the next thing to go in there is some red wine vinegar. A splash of red wine vinegar. Good stuff, red wine vinegar. That's got a nice acidity to it. I'm gonna fill that up pretty good. Remember, I'm gonna dump this whole thing on that meat, on that pork. And I dropped the cap to the vinegar. I'll have to pick it up later. Let's screw that up a little bit. Stir it up rather. Okay, one more thing and we're done with the marinade. That is the terroir de Marrakesh. This is olive oil from 100-year-old olive trees. The trees that this oil came from are older than me. I want you to wrap your mind around that. As old as I am, these are older than me. The trees that made this oil. And I don't want to use up all my terroir de Marrakesh. I have a little bit left for tomorrow. I'm going to need it for tomorrow for something I'm cooking. And we're going to set that aside. That stuff's great stuff. We're going to mix that in. We got red wine vinegar, the terroir de Marrakesh olive oil, all those spices, all that garlic, all that stuff. we're gonna get our meat over here and dump that, stir that up some more. That saffron is gonna color that meat in a way that you're not gonna believe. Watch this. Let's dump that onto the meat. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Get all that on there. Get it all out of there. All right. Yeah, my little pilon really did its job today. So I'm gonna put the meat in the refrigerator and let it sit overnight, where I can, I'll put the top on it where I can stir it around and, you know, mess it around and get all that meat in that marinade. That's gonna be so good, boy. Tomorrow is gonna be awesome. We're gonna, yeah, we're gonna grill that up tomorrow. That's the marinade. Come back tomorrow, we'll light a fire and cook some food, so stay tuned. Yeah, before I get my pinchitos on the fire, I'm just doing some white mushrooms and a red wine garlic sauce. We're gonna add some cherry tomatoes to that. That color will make them pop. And we're gonna just mix those up a little bit, get them cooked up. I got my well marinated skewers standing by. Get this little appetizer done here, and we'll get those get the meat on the fire. Stay tuned. Okay, I got my well marinated pinchitos on the fire, and they're not going to take long to cook, but we got to get an internal temperature of 160 degrees on that pork. Pork's looking right, let me tell you what. Nowhere near temperature yet. Gotta flip them over, flip them around a little bit. Get them cooking. Won't be long now. It'll be time to drink a beer and take a taste. So stay tuned. My Pinchitos Morunos. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Pinchitos de Moruno are done. Here's today's beer. I wanted to get a Spanish beer, but this is as close as I could get. Mexican beer, Corona. This is good beer. I like this beer. Corona, extra. La cerveza más fina. This is good beer. This beer has challenged Budweiser for the leading position of American beer today. And you can clearly see why. It's not brewed with rice. It's real beer, imported from Mexico. All we gotta do is sniff the sniff and quaff the froth. Stay tuned. Ah, very refreshing. Excellent beer. Perfect to go with my Pinchitos de Morunos. Let me turn the camera around and you can watch a fat guy eat. Okay, my Pinchitos Morunos is done. I got a little piece of pita bread right here. I'm gonna, maybe I'm not. Okay, I'm just gonna tear off a piece of pita bread and take one of those pieces of meat and show you how good that looks. Isn't that beautiful? I can't wait to get this in my mouth. Mmm. Mmm. Wow. The spices are amazing. This is pork tenderloin, very tender. Mmm. I got a little sauce over here. I could dip it in. I don't know how common it is to put tzatziki sauce on this, but I put a little bit on there. Mmm. 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 And you know what? You know what I love? I love me some shrooms. I love some shrooms. Oh. Mmm. Those shrooms are right on, baby. Let me tell you what. Yeah. I want to show you the process of cooking the mushrooms, but the video is already too long because of that complicated marinade that we had to do. Hope it didn't bore you too bad. Anyway, you know what I always say. I always say the same thing. I say, if you like this crap, please subscribe. If you don't, go open the iCard. I'm going to point to the iCard perfectly, right? Nah, you didn't get it right yet. Right there. In the iCard, you will find my new friend Jason. I just learned his name. Jason. Jason is a hell of a cook. He's up there in Tennessee somewhere. He's got a channel called Regular Folks Food. Man, that guy can cook. I'm not lying. He is a master chef. He made some blackened steak that was out of this world. I love me some shrooms. The shrooms are delicious. This meat is out of sight. Out of sight. Let me tell you what. Anyway, babies, that's my video. And I always say another thing with my mouth full. I always say, come back next week if I'm still alive. We may not cook anything good, but we will drink a beer. Corona. Ah, mighty good. All right, babies, we'll see you next week. Bye. My wife says that's very annoying, and I'm losing subscribers because of it.